Hey everybody, Steve here in Palm Springs, and I'm getting ready to go out and do some errands today. I'm going to head over to the recycling center in Palm Desert. I've got some cans and bottles to return. They're in the back of the car here. It's been a few months, I think, since the last time we took in our cans, so it's time to go do that again. I think I need to get some gas, and I've got a few other errands that I want to do. It just depends, I guess, on how things go. So I'm just going to play it by ear today. And if anything interesting happens along the way, I'll show you. It's been really, really windy here. This is spring, our windy season. And most of the roads in and out of Palm Springs are closed, which happens a lot. The wind just does a number on some of these roads. It just blows all the sand into the road. And then sometimes it takes a couple days, even a week, sometimes to remove all the sand blocking the roads. So it's going to take me a little bit longer. I'm going to have to go the long way to get to Palm Desert, but that's okay. I'm not in a big hurry today. I'm just going to go with the flow and do the errands that I feel like doing today. And I don't have a real set agenda like I normally do, which is nice, just to kind of go out and see where the day takes me. So let's get going. It seems like for the last year or two, gas prices here in Palm Springs have been around $4.50 to $5 just for regular at the least expensive gas stations here in town. I keep waiting for gas prices to go back down to $3 to $4 a gallon, which at the time, just a couple of years ago, everyone thought was ridiculously high. But unfortunately, California always has the highest or close to the highest gas prices in the entire country. I watch lots of other YouTubers who travel all over the country, and gas prices almost everywhere except California are typically a lot lower and sometimes even half the price. This past year or so I haven't been driving much, so I've only been filling up my tank once a month, but these prices are still pretty shocking to see. If you watched the video I did last year about us recycling our cans by taking them here to this recycling center here in Palm Desert, then this will probably look familiar to you. Sadly, they closed the recycling center in Palm Springs that was just about a mile from our house, pretty close to the gas station, where I just filled up. But I only make the trip down here to Palm Desert a couple of times a year. And while I'm down here in this area, I do other errands that I need to come down to this area for anyway, so I killed two birds with one stone. I just got back $25, so it was worth the trip, especially since I needed to come down this way anyway. When I was painting our gate a few weeks ago, I purchased the spray paint across the street at Home Depot, and while I was there, I was also looking for some white flowers for our yard, for our backyard, but they didn't have any white flowers. I only bought 2 cans of paint from Home Depot because I just wanted to test it to see if it would work before I bought more for the gate on the other side of the house. The paint worked out great, as you know if you saw that video that I did. And I checked online and discovered that Lowe's carries that same spray paint. So today I decided to pick up the paint here and check out Lowe's to see if maybe they have some white flowers. They're pretty rare here in the desert. I don't see white flowers very often anymore. But here I am in the garden section, and I've never seen any garden plants on clearance. But I guess it's my lucky day because they have all of these white, beautiful flowers on sale, half price. Exactly what I was looking for. They're called candy tuft flowers, or Iberis sempervirens. I can't believe I've never seen these before and never even heard of them before. Lowe's also had a couple of lantana plants in white, which again are very rare. I mean, I rarely see them at either of these stores. The lantana plant has a couple of white flowers, but the candy tuft looks like the white lantana, only on steroids. And look at these beautiful succulents. I mean, they look like flowers, don't they? I would love to get some of these, but I'm really trying to stick with flowers and plants and succulents and cactus that grow really tall. I'm trying to hide the backyard fence as much as possible with plants, and these are very low-growing plants. They're beautiful, but they just wouldn't work in the backyard for what I'm trying to do. Now this looks like a fun job, doesn't it? Before coming here today, I checked the Lowe's website just to make sure that they had the color paint that I'm looking for in stock, and their website said that they did, but when I got here I discovered it was the only row of paint here on the shelf that was completely empty. It must be their most popular color. They have every other color here except for the color that I came in for. So I asked the sales clerk if he could check his inventory, and he said they had plenty in stock, but it just happened to be on the very top shelf. I've never seen one of these electronic lifts before here in a store, but it looks like it would be kind of fun. I thought it might look nice to go white on white, so I picked up this fairly large pot for $24, and the candy tuft were $4 per container, and I put 2 containers in this pot, and I used about a half a bag of potting soil, which was probably about $5 worth. So the total cost of these flowers was about $35 to $40, which these days I guess is not too bad for flowers. And hopefully these will be blooming for years, assuming they survive the intense summer heat. It kind of amazes me that these delicate looking little white flowers that kind of look like fluffy white snow apparently love full sun and do really well in the desert heat. At least that's what it says on the tag. I guess we'll see since summer is coming up fast. And in the summer here in the desert in Palm Springs, we usually have at least 2 to 3 months where the temperatures are 100 degrees or above every day. So I guess we'll soon find out how they really do in the summer heat. So I'm here at Walmart in the middle of the day shopping, and I'm in an aisle and I hear somebody behind me say, "Aren't you shopping late today?" And I looked at him and I didn't recognize him and I was a little confused. And then he introduced himself and he said that he watches the channel. His name's Perry. So he realized I was a little confused and didn't recognize him. So he introduced himself as a subscriber who watches the channel. And because he watches the channel, he knows that Jim and I shop here once a week when the doors open at 6 o'clock. But since I haven't been out of the house in almost a week now because of my cataract surgery, I was just feeling like I finally feel like I've gotten back to normal. I can see great and I feel good. And I felt like it was probably safe to go out into the world again and test drive my new eye. And so I just needed to get out of the house. And it's the middle of the day. It's a little crowded here, but I figured it was fine. I didn't care. I figured I would just leisurely do some shopping today. I really needed to pick up some lettuce for some salad. And for some reason, I didn't buy salad last week, and I've really been craving a salad. So thanks, Perry, for saying hi. It was fun meeting you and talking a little bit. There were so many people, and everybody seemed to be in the aisle that we were in. We were blocking the aisle, so we didn't really get to talk very much, but it was nice meeting you. Thanks for leaving all the great comments over the years and for watching all these years. It's always fun when someone comes up and says hi and gets to be a part of one of the videos. The other reason I wanted to come out today is because it's really nice. The weather is just beautiful. Once again, in a couple of days it's supposed to rain again. So I thought I would get out while I can and enjoy a little sun. It's around 80 degrees. In the car here, it's about 90 degrees. My ice cream's going to melt, so I better get going. So I just ran into Perry here, and he recognized me. He just watched the video this morning of my eye, and so here's the latest. You can see just a little bit, not too bad. And he had 2 cataract surgery. So about
well, last one was about 2 months ago. So
wow,
all done.
Yeah, that's good. And so everything's good, and you can see perfectly.
Yeah.
Now, have you noticed? Here's a weird thing. I noticed that if I close this eye, the new one is like bright and white and really nice. I close this one, everything's kind of yellow.
Well, see, I had maybe you are at started getting one.
Oh, starting on this one, maybe. Yeah, because I never remember. I never even noticed that things were yellow. Everything was fine.
When I just had the one done, I put the other one that looked all blurry.
Yeah.
So I knew I needed to get that one done. So once I got it done,
blocking traffic here.
Once I got it done, it was great. So
yeah, well, that's nice. Yeah. Well, thanks for saying hi and thanks for watching.
Thanks for your videos. They're awesome.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like them.
Don't listen to any of the nonsense stuff. The negatives.
I know people are crazy.
It's not the crazy. They're crazy.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Barry.
Good. Bye-bye.
Look, we've caused a traffic jam here in the aisle. So for all of you who asked me to give an update on my cataract surgery, I figured this would be a good time to do it since I'm finally sharing this video that I started gosh, over a month ago. When I started filming this video over a month ago, I had no idea that it would take me a month to complete it. I started this one and then, I don't know, I guess I started other videos and I forgot that I had even started this one. So after I finished some of the other videos, I went back and realized, oh, I still have this footage that I haven't shared with you yet. And so it's been a month now since I had my cataract surgery on this side. And I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna try to open my eyes wide, but this pupil is quite a bit larger than this pupil. I've had multiple follow-up appointments with my ophthalmologist since the cataract surgery, and a couple of days ago was the last one. It was the 1 month follow-up, and we got busy talking about other things, about my glaucoma eye drops that cause my eyes to be so red and itchy and dry. And I completely forgot to ask my eye doctor about this pupil being so much larger than this one. Now, I do remember that the day after surgery, when they took off the mask, or when they took off the patch, this pupil was really large. And I asked him about it, and he said, well, I guess for the surgery, they have to make your pupil, they used eye drops to a larger pupil and make it as, completely as wide as it'll open, I guess, for the surgery. I guess it helps with the surgery. And then it did go down to about this size a couple of days later, but I was taking eye drops. I was taking three different types of eye drops for the entire month, multiple times throughout the day. And I thought, well, maybe that's what's causing the pupil to be large. Maybe for some reason for healing, you need to have a large pupil. I didn't know. I looked online. I didn't really find much information about it. And so 2 days ago, when I saw the ophthalmologist, he said I could stop taking the eye drops. So I thought, okay, good. Maybe that's why I didn't ask him. I just assumed once I stopped taking them, the pupil would go back to the same size as the other one, the normal size. But it's been a couple days now, and it's still large. So I have another appointment with him in 3 weeks. So when I go back, I'm going to write myself a note to make sure and ask him about the extra large pupil. Why is it so much larger than the one on this side? And I don't know if that's just a permanent side effect. I did look online, I did Google it yesterday, and I really couldn't find much about it. And I even went on YouTube to see if there were any videos about it. There are, I guess, lots of things that can cause you to have one large pupil, various medical issues and things. And I found one article that said something about it, that it could be a side effect of cataract surgery, but then it didn't really say anything about it. It didn't really say, well, why, or how you get treated to get rid of it or anything. So there's almost no information out there about it. And that article did say it's extremely rare. So I hope I didn't get the one extremely rare side effect. My eye doctor, he was looking in my eyes when I was there, and he said everything looked fine. So I don't know if he didn't notice the difference between the pupils, or maybe it will go away on its own. I don't know. So I guess we'll see. In the next couple of weeks, I'll find out from him anyway. But my eyes are pretty clear. It's spring. It's very windy. Pollen is so thick in the air you could cut it with a knife. My grandmother used to say that. And I could barely breathe. So actually my eyes look pretty good considering the time of year it is and how bad my allergies are. And then my glaucoma eye drops still cause my eyes to be very red. So actually today it's looking pretty good. I'm almost back to normal, whatever that is. And if any of you have had this, I know a lot of you have had cataract surgery, and no one has mentioned having an extra large pupil on the eye that you had the cataract surgery on. None of you mentioned that in your comments. So if you have had this, experienced this, or know someone who has, and if it went away on its own or whatever, yeah, please let me know. I was kind of worried about it at first, and I thought, well, I think if it was something really bad, I think he would have mentioned it when I was there a couple of days ago. So hopefully it's normal and it'll go back to normal, or maybe that's just the way my eye will be from now on. And I don't know, it does look weird. Can you tell how big it is? Sometimes I look in the mirror and it seems really large compared to the other one. Other times, like today, it doesn't seem as large. So maybe it is going down a little bit. I don't know. So let me know if you've had this experience and what you think, if you have any advice. And as I mentioned to Perry when I ran into him at the store, this eye, I noticed right away after surgery, a couple of days after surgery, that everything was just beautifully white and almost like, those What are the new light bulbs that they have? Are they LED, where everything has more of a blue cast to it? I mean, it's just white, very bright white. And then when I close this eye, look out this eye, everything has sort of a yellow cast to it, like, you know, like an old, you know, paper or anything white, sheets and towels and paper, things that age and they start yellowing. Well, that's how this eye is. And Perry said, well, maybe it's the start of a new cataract. And I asked the ophthalmologist on this last appointment, and he said the exact same thing. He said it's just, you know, a new cataract starting. And I know he had said that on this eye, it was just barely beginning a cataract, and he said that about a year ago or so. I don't know how fast cataracts grow. Hopefully it'll take years before it gets to be blurry and I can't see like on this eye. But at least now I know this one's been done and it went well, so I won't be as reluctant to have this one done. And if they're both nice, white and bright, that would be great. I have almost 20/20 vision now in both eyes. Not quite, but almost 20/20. So I can see distance with no glasses perfectly. I mean, I never needed glasses, but I was starting to get to the point where it was so blurry, in this eye I couldn't really see much of anything. So I was really just working off of just the one eye, but it was almost 20/20, so I still didn't need glasses for distance. But it was harder to read signs and things. But now, everything's great. I can read off in the distance, see off in the distance perfectly. I was using cheaters before, and now they're even better because this eye is clear. Before it was still blurry. The cheaters, I wear a +2 cheaters, and it's just crystal clear, completely sharp. I don't even need glasses for reading. I just use the little $1 or $2 cheaters, you know, the little cheater glasses. So anyway, so I'm very happy with the surgery. Everything turned out great. Not so happy with one big pupil, and hopefully that will go away. If that's the worst side effect, I guess it's not the worst thing that can happen. He took me off the eye drops and said all is good. I had to switch to a different glaucoma eye drop, and it is a little bit better. It doesn't make them as red as my other glaucoma eye drops have done. This is the third different manufacturer, I guess, now that we're trying, and this one seems to be better. It's not perfect. I still wake up in the middle of the night with really red, really sore, really itchy eyes. Feels like sandpaper, eyes on sandpaper. And I put in some eye drops, and it usually clears it up and helps. And eye drops in the morning, and you know, like right now, it's still morning, but I've put in a few eye drops, and it clears it up pretty well for most of the rest of the day. Well, until at night when I take the glaucoma eye drops, which then make my eyes red and itchy again. So it's kind of this vicious cycle. The only thing is we have to test to make sure that they actually work, that they lower the pressure of the eyes. The other 2 eye drops have done that really well. They've lowered the pressure so it's normal, which is what you want with glaucoma. But I guess not all of the glaucoma eye drops are as effective. So this new drop might be better for my eyes as far as the itchiness and redness, but it might not work as far as lowering the pressure. So I'll find that out in a couple of weeks, in a few weeks. So anyway, I guess this is my new normal, just going to the ophthalmologist once a month for the rest of my life. But beats the alternative. You know, my mom didn't do that. She didn't catch hers in time, and she had glaucoma, and she had macular degeneration, which fortunately so far I don't have any macular degeneration, but I do have the glaucoma like she had. But she didn't catch it in time, and it caused her lots of problems for the last 10, 15 years of her life. So I'm really grateful and happy that at least mine was caught early. And they say if you catch glaucoma early, there's a lot that can be done to prevent it from causing serious problems down the road. But if you catch it too late, then there's nothing that can be done. And glaucoma is something that there are no signs. I guess from what I've read, you don't even know you have it unless you go to an ophthalmologist or an optometrist, and they do the tests every year to, you know, eye pressure tests and various things to find out, you know, to monitor how your eyes are doing. So if you're not going to an eye doctor, I highly recommend it, especially if you've had anybody in your family who's had eye problems, because I can tell you my mom was just miserable the last 10, 15 years of her life because of her glaucoma and her macular degeneration. And who knows, if she had gone in earlier to an ophthalmologist or an optometrist and they had found that she had the high blood pressure or the high pressure in her eyes from the glaucoma, maybe they could have done something to prevent all the problems she had with that later in life. You know, you never know for sure. But anyway, I highly recommend going to your ophthalmologist or optometrist at least once a year. And I think that's usually all you need, unless you do have issues. And then once they found out that I had issues, now I go, you know, like I say, once a month it seems, or at least every 2 or 3 months. So lately, because of my cataract surgery, I've been going in almost every couple of weeks, but hopefully that'll go down to once every 2 to 3 months. So now, after a month, I think this video is finally ready to come to an end. So thanks for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you next time.